Mayong buntag sa tanan. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2025 awarding ceremony of the Outstanding Social Work Agencies and Auxiliary Social Welfare and Development Agencies.
Well, today is a special day indeed because we will pay tribute and recognize the unique contributions and exemplary practices of our partners in development and nation building.
Always strive to find its way to be able to serve everyone, especially the poor, the vulnerable, the disadvantaged, and the marginalized. But it is a fact that the government cannot do it alone. That's why we are always very grateful, thankful with all of this opportunity to give you recognition because you have helped the government in so many ways. The award you have received today is more than just a trophy. It is a powerful acknowledgement of your commitment to quality service and your proactive efforts in nation building. You have proven your excellence by adhering to the highest regulatory standards set by the DSWD and by the implementing best practices that inspires us all. We know that earning this award was no simple feat. Each of you underwent a comprehensive process of screening and validation, and you emerged as true leaders in your field. So once again, congratulations.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, patuloy ang Department of Social Welfare and Development sa paghahatid ng maagap at mapagkalingang serbisyo sa ating mga kababayan. Sa patuloy na pagbabago ng panahon, patuloy rin ang pagsisikap ng DSWD na mas palawakin at pagbutihin ang mga programa at serbisyo ng ahensya sa tulong ng digitalization para sa mas mabilis at epektibong paghahatid ng tulong sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Ngayon, tunghayan ang mga bagong serbisyo ng DSWD para sa pamilya sa bagong Pilipinas. Ang DSWD Helps o ang Harmonized Electronic License and Permit System ay isang online system na mas magpapadali sa proseso ng application ng registration, licensing at accreditation o RLA ng mga social welfare and development agencies o SWADAs, pati na rin ang iba pang regulatory services tulad ng public solicitation at duty-exempt importation. Sa pamamagitan ng DSWD Helps, mas pinabilis ang proseso ng aplikasyon at mas pinaiksi ang processing days ng mga SWADAs sa pagkuha ng permit. Mula sa dating 180 working days, 7 working days na lang ang pagproseso ng registration at licensing. At para naman sa pagkuha ng public solicitation permit at duty-exempt importation certification, kaya na within 7 to 3 working days. Mas simple na rin ang pagpasa ng documentary requirements sa tulong ng DSWD Helps. Kung noon madaming dokumento ang kailangang ipasa ng mga SWADAs para sa kanilang application, ngayon ay nasa 10 to 11 documents na lang ang kanilang kailangang isubmit. Mas mabilis, mas maayos at digitalized na ang mga kasalukuyang regulatory services ng ahensya. All thanks to DSWD Helps. Mas pinadali na rin ang pagkuha ng DSWD Travel Clearance para sa mga minor de edad na babiyahe abroad gamit ang Minors Traveling Abroad o MTA online system. Ang DSWD travel clearance ay isang mahalagang dokumento para sa mga menor de edad na babiyahe abroad ng walang kasamang magulang o legal guardian. Ito ay nagsisilbing proteksyon laban sa pang-aabuso, pananamantala at trafficking. Kung dati, kinakailangang pisikal na pumunta sa DSWD field offices para kumuha ng travel clearance, ngayon, mula application, pagpili ng schedule, interview o assessment hanggang sa pagtanggap ng travel clearance, lahat ay online na. May bagong modelo na rin ang DSWD na mas magsusulong, magpapatatag at magpapayaman sa kapakanan ng bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Ito ay ang Pamilya sa Bagong Pilipinas model na naglalaman ng mga programa at serbisyo na naglalayong itaguyod at panatilihin ang maayos na antas sa iba't ibang yugto ng buhay ng bawat pamilya at ng individual. Saklaw ng modelong ito ang iba't ibang programang pang-ekonomiya, panlipunan at pangkulturang aspeto. Sa pagsasama-sama ng mga bahaging ito sa mas malinaw na estruktura, ang kapakanan ng pamilya para sa mga pamilyang Pilipino ay maaaring magtaguyod ng kanilang pag-unlad at pag-usbong habang tinutugunan ang kanilang iba't ibang pangangailangan at mithiin. Ang DSWD Helps, Minors Traveling Abroad Online System at Pamilya sa Bagong Pilipinas ay ilan lamang sa mga makabagong serbisyong inilunsad para mas mailapit pa ang tulong ng ahensya sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Sa pamamagitan ng whole-of-nation approach at sa ating sama-samang pagkilos, masisigurong mas mabilis at mas inklusibong maihahatid ang tulong ng ahensya sa mga nangangailangan. Dahil sa DSWD, ang bawat buhay ay mahalaga.
In line with the President's directive to ensure ease of access to government services through digitalization, the DSWD embarked on a digital transformation journey to improve efficiency, inclusivity in the provision of its services and programs.
Today, we are taking DSWD to the digital age. With that, we are now launching DSWD Helps. We are also launching the Minors Traveling Abroad portal. This celebration is a testament to the commitment of providing caring and compassionate service to every Filipino. Maraming salamat. Happy anniversary, DSWD.
With Valdes, the department will launch the Kaagapay Donations Portal, a new website that will help foster a culture of collaboration and innovation between the DSWD and our partners Valdes.
The success of these programs does not rest on the shoulders of the DSWD alone. It requires our collective determination, support, and our effort. Let us build the Bagong Pilipinas, a nation where every citizen has a chance to dream, to strive, to succeed. A country where compassion is not merely a value but a way of life. A Philippines where no one gets left behind. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay ang DSWD at happy anniversary sa inyong lahat.
Alright. Good morning po. Nakabalik na po ba tayong lahat sa ating live? Ayan, thank you so much po. Ayan, so we hope po na nakapasok na po muli tayo sa link. So before we start again po on the discussion, on the continuation of the discussion on the residential-based monitoring tools, let us acknowledge first po yung ating mga nagbigay ng time na makapag-ano po sa Padlet. Silipin natin ang ating Padlet. Ayan. So, ayan po, no? So, nakikita po natin ang mga pictures ng ating mga kasamahan ngayon sa line. Ayan po. Nariyan po at Sir PJ, pwede pa nating lakihan ng isa-isa para makita natin, tapos acknowledge natin sila. Tingnan natin kung sino-sino po. Ayan. So makikita po natin from different social welfare development agencies mula po sa St. Vincent, sa Foundation of, Hopeful Faith, social worker from Lawag City, Social Welfare and Development, Ilocos Norte. Thank you po for joining with us today. Little Bamboo Foundation, good morning po. Ayan. So, medyo maliliit lang po yung ating mga ano po, no? So, we want to acknowledge everyone po. Thank you for joining us. Ayan. Ano po ng mga pictures ng ating mga kasamahan. Ayan. Marami-rami po pala kayo na nandyan sa isang line. So, thank you po sa pag-join kahit na medyo struggle yung ating internet connection, no, sa Pilipinas. Pero walang makakapigil para talaga magkaroon tayo ng learnings about monitoring tools. Ayan. May mga sisters po tayong kasama from different social welfare development agencies. Good morning po sa inyo. Ayan. So, yung iba po, I think naka-work from home po. Thank you po sa pag-join sa amin even you are in your own home po, no? Ayan. May mga sa mga kanilang offices din po. Ayan, maraming salamat po sa pag-join. So dahil po medyo naging masyado na tayong dumami po dito sa ating line sa Google Meet, ay nakapagbukas po kami sa Facebook na naka-live po tayo ngayon sa Facebook. So as of now po, we have 27 viewers po sa ating 63, sorry, sa akin ay hindi na po updated. So we have 63 viewers. Hello po, good morning po. Thank you for joining with us today. So we hope makasama po namin kayo in the whole afternoon. So we just want to acknowledge po yung mga kasamahan na natin nasa live stream from Silang Cavite, from RHWG FO2, good morning po, Ma'am Che. From Bahay Pag-asa for Girls, Albay, Ligao City. Good morning po. From GECI, Center for Buena Vista, Agusan del Norte, Caraga Region. Good morning po. We hope na okay yung connection natin. And then from Mary Mother of Mercy Home for Elderly Foundation. Good morning po, sisters, and good morning, everyone. Ayan. So maraming salamat po. Mamaya muli ay babalikan natin ng ating Padlet para makita pa po natin ang mga kasamahan natin na nasa line. So madami po tayo ngayon, no? 251 po tayo, and we hope to see you po sa ating Padlet. Lagay lang po natin yung pangalan nating organization para po mamaya ay maisa-isa namin kayong ma-acknowledge. Ayan. Good morning po muli. Ayan, so ngayon po ay ibibigay ko na po muli ang ating line to Miss Julie to continue the discussion on the residential-based monitoring tool. Julie.
So, yan. Sige po. Thank you, Miss Jen. So, sige, pabalik na po tayo sa ating monitoring tool under the hindi pala naka-open ang camera. Ito po. Okay. Balik po tayo ulit sa ating residential-based tool. Monitoring tool po. So, let's proceed po sa ating caseload and case management. So, dito po, take note po for other professionals and other staff na hindi po mame-mention. The ratio will be depend on the specific requirement po ng ating agency. So sa ating registered social workers po, the standard ratio of our full-time registered social worker to beneficiaries or under casework. So for individual casework, 1:25 children for placement, applicable to nursery homes and reception and study centers. So 1:20 children in need of special protection or CNSP and person in crisis needing casework. 1:15 for children in conflict with the law or CICL. 1:60 children for independent living and education purposes. So 1:25 naman po pag disadvantaged women or internally displaced persons or IDP. 1:15 naman po women with dependents. 1:25 for senior citizen. 1:15 for person with disabilities po. So ang ating means of verification ay profile of employees, caseload inventory, quarterly accomplishment report. Still under the registered social workers. So for group work naman po, 1:3 groups at a time, composed of 5 to 7 members based on social work with groups, structural properties of group or size. For work with families, 1:5 families at a time, either for casework or group work. So for our social welfare assistant naman po, in excess of at least 50% of the standard ratio for registered social worker. So the social welfare assistant shall assist in the case management of the excess caseload. So however po, only the registered social worker shall sign and submit the pertinent documents. So our means of verification po ay profile of employees, caseload inventory, quarterly accomplishment report. So sa ating house parent naman po, the standard ratio of house parent to beneficiaries is 1:15 children from birth to 1 year old with reliever on call in case of an emergency. 1:10 children aged 13 months to 7 years old. 1:15 naman po if aged 8 to 12 years old. 1:20 children aged 13 to below 18 years old, capable of independent living. So 1:15 for person with special needs, upper trainable. 1:10 for persons with special needs, for lower trainable naman po. 1:5 for persons with profound special needs. For CICL, 1:15. For senior citizen or older persons, 1:25 ambulatory beneficiaries. It refers to beneficiaries' ability to bear weight, pivot, or safely walk independently, or with the use of cane, walker, or other mechanical supportive device, that to include but not limited to a wheelchair. So 1:10 naman po if bedridden beneficiaries, refers to elderly beneficiaries that require a total assistance or dependent on another person or mobility. So for disadvantaged women or IDPs, 1:30 women, 1:20 naman po with women, for women with dependents naman po. So for our person with disabilities, 1:5 for non-ambulant, 1:15 kapag ambulant naman po. So ito po yung sinasabi po nating upper trainable. So kapag upper trainable po, affected with mild intellectual disability, intellectual development disorder, and capable of developing academic, social, and occupational skills with capabilities of one with a mental age between 9 to 12 years old. So kung lower trainable naman po, affected with moderate intellectual disability or intellectual development disorder, and capable of being trained in self-care and in simple social and work skills in a sheltered environment. So if profound, affected with the most severe intellectual disability or intellectual development disorder, are unable to work, live alone, or care for themselves. So to our non-ambulant naman po, it refers to a person who is unable to leave a building unassisted under emergency conditions. It includes, but is not limited to, those persons who dependent upon mechanical aids such as crutches, walkers, and wheelchairs, or confined to a wheelchair or assistive devices. So pag ambulant naman, able to walk around, need minimal assistance, can also do practical daily routines. So our means of verification po ay profile of employees, caseload inventory, or quarterly accomplishment report. So under pa din po ng caseload and case management is the helping process. So admission and intake. So initial assessment is conducted by registered social worker using the intake sheet. It solicits information on the individual and his or her situation and need to be written completely and properly accomplished. So conducted a case conference with parents, relatives, referring party, relative to the beneficiary's intake assessment result, and has a signed agreement on the temporary shelter, stay of the child beneficiary in the center between the agency and the parents or referring party, outlining each party's task and responsibilities. So our MOB is completely filled up intake sheets, social case study report of the referring agency, referral letter, signed agreement on the temporary shelter, stay of the child or beneficiary in the center, and police report or barangay report in cases of abuse, children, women, documentation case conference report record of admission of case conference or beneficiary folder interview with the beneficiary. So conducted an orientation to the beneficiaries of the agency's program and services, rules and policies, expectations, assignments, and other agency regulations within 2 days upon admission. So our toddlers, infants, and persons with special needs are exempted. Provided beneficiary with personal necessities, including but not limited to hygiene essentials, clothing, room, bed, cottage assignment, or upon immediately admission. There is an available informed consent signed by the beneficiary if applicable. So our means of verification po ay photo documentation, attendance, record book of issuance or index card, accomplished informed consent. So under ng assessment phase, a social case study report is prepared by the registered social worker within 15 days after the admission of each beneficiary as the basis for the social work intervention. It is signed and updated as necessary or at least semi-annually following the minimum prescribed content and reflecting the current condition and the progress of the beneficiary based on the results of the evaluation assessment. So our means of verification po ay social case study report, date and stamp, updated social case study report, intake sheet, referral report, home visit report, collateral interview output with community, progress notes, medical or psychosocial reports or referral, progress notes, GRCM tool included in the CSCR and filled in the case folder. So under the intervention plan naman po, formulated within a maximum of 15 days after the admission of the beneficiary to appropriately respond to the problems and needs identified by the beneficiary. So the intervention should be consistent based on the assessment and consultation made by the worker. This should be reflect the minimum content per accreditation tool. So ang ating MOV po dito ay intervention plan or social case study report. So the intervention plan is formulated through the conduct of case conference and coordination through an interdisciplinary team, if applicable, being evaluated quarterly. So the formulated plan is consulted and conformed with the beneficiary except for the cases where the beneficiary is incapable of doing so, such as for cases of infants, toddlers, young children, beneficiaries with intellectual disability, or those with dementia. So enhanced intervention plan development programs are prepared based on the result of the monitoring of the implementation of program and services. So for our DSWD Center and residential care facilities for children, private child caring agencies, and LGU managed center for children, the turnaround time on case management of abandoned, including fondling, surrendered, and neglected children shall be observed based on the RA 11642 and RA 11767 and its implementing guidelines. So our MOV or means of verification po ay intervention plan and contract, social case study report, activity log, documentation report, enhanced intervention plan. So under naman po ng implementation phase, so activities and timelines identified and reflected in the intervention plan are carried out. Any changes should be properly documented, filed, and agreed upon with the beneficiary. So the agency ensures that the victim survivors of violence are provided with the gender-responsive case management. So take note po that applicable to agencies with cases on VAUCs. So our MOV is the intervention plan and contract, updated intervention plan, progress notes, or documentation reports. So the agency also has a standard procedure protocol on the preparation for the reintegration or physical transfer of the child into the family or adoptive family. So our MOB is approved standard procedure protocol by the board or executive director or head of agency. So under po ng monitoring and evaluation, monitoring occurs throughout the entire process and is related to seeking ongoing feedback and conducting follow-ups as necessary to how the plan of care is being implemented and producing results. Evaluation is closely related to monitoring, but occurs at the specific milestones during the case management process to formally determine if the care plan helps the beneficiary achieve progress towards goal and outcomes. So gaps that are identified are used as the basis for revision, enhancement of the intervention plan as per result of the monitoring and evaluation that being conducted using the tool developed by the center, agency, and are used to track the progress and current status of the intervention plans implemented. So our MOB is monitoring and evaluation tool, revised or enhanced intervention plan, or minutes of case conference. So using the tool developed by the center or agency, a quarterly periodic monitoring report is generated, along with the enhanced or revised intervention plan based on the progress and status of the implemented activities, and it's properly filed. It is discussed and confirmed with the beneficiary, except in cases where the beneficiary is incapable of doing so, such as infant, toddlers, young children, beneficiaries with intellectual disorders, or those with dementia. So for our CICL, monitoring tools are developed and used to check the status of discharge CICLs and record incidences of reoffending to prevent reoffending after discharge. So still, our MOV is the intervention plan and contract, activity logs and agreements, quarterly accomplished monitoring tool, progress note, revised intervention plan, minutes of case conference where status report on beneficiaries' intervention plan is discussed or updated, rehab or social functioning indicator tool. So has caseload inventory that is used and maintained quarterly, monthly for our DSWD facilities or as necessary. So for our CCAs, implementing adoption and alternative childcare programs, The caseload inventory of children is updated and submitted quarterly on or before the 5th day of the following month after the end of each quarter to the NACC through the RACO. So our MOV is the updated caseload inventory, proof of submitted caseload inventory to RACO.
Pagkalang sa Mercury, dali ko mga dali sa kilid, lang madala ng Mercury, hindi ko no? May ali na sa mga dariyo. Kung diretsyon mo na to, dalagyan na sa mga shopping site. Hindi kaya mangilid, pero sa Mercury laptop mo, may ngalan na pang tamo na may ngalan na white box sa cancer, so labang. Hindi kasi ako ko tutol. Ito na likod sa Mercury, mong daw ang lalakon, daw.
Yes.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Sige po. Follow po tayo sa termination of program service and closure of cases. So, a case conference is conducted to formulate the termination plan or pre-discharge plan, also with the participation of our beneficiary. So, interdisciplinary team and other vital stakeholders, such as LGU staff. The formulated termination plan or pre-discharge plan is conformed with the beneficiary and his/her family, if applicable. So, our ating MOV naman po dito ay termination plan, pre-discharge plan, case conference report, or activity log. So, conduct an exit interview or discharge conference with the beneficiary before discharge, whichever is applicable or practiced. So for our adoption cases, pre-placement adoption activities shall be conducted by the social worker and other interdisciplinary case management team members such as psychologists and pediatrician to prepare the adoptee emotionally, psychologically, physically, and socially. So, termination. Ayan. So, our MOV naman po dito ay process recording, activity log, or documentation. So, still po, termination of program service and closure of cases. So, termination closure is appropriately done by the preparation of a terminal report or closing summary or after completing at least 50% of the aftercare program plan. So, ang ating MOV po dito ay terminal report, closing summary, presentation of case procedure management, process recording, intervention plan, feedback, communication letter to LGU following up the status of the aftercare program plan, implementation, response letter from LGU with substantial report. So there is a parenting capability assessment report or PCAR if applicable that includes the following but not limited to risk factor and protective behavior of the family, socioeconomic condition of the family, and family dynamics and other significant information. So of course, our MOV is the parenting capability assessment report or PCAR. So next is the aftercare. So there is a written policy directing or redirecting aftercare services to beneficiaries to appropriate specialist or agency for definitive intervention for at least 6 months. So ang ating MOV po dito ay manual of operation. So an aftercare plan or agreement that includes integrated aspects of the development of the beneficiary is developed and formulated prior to the termination of the case or discharge of the beneficiary. So ang ating MOV po dito ay aftercare plan, agreement, focus group discussion with the beneficiary or personnel staff. So the agency has endorsement or referral of the case of the beneficiary to the concerned LGU or the other agency. So family reintegration is properly executed as per PCAR's result and the center's social workers assessment if applicable. In place and proper implementation of independent group home living in preparation for community integration if applicable also. So our MOV po ay endorsement letter to the LGU or other agencies, PCAR, documentation report, manual of operation, progress notes, reports within 6 months, monitoring and or evaluation report. So referral system or pathway. So also the agency should have a written policy on the referral system pathways, and it is in place to properly address and respond to the immediate problem and needs of the beneficiary. So our MOB, a referral process mechanism or system, or referral system flow, or our MOO. Next is confidentiality. So there is a written policy along confidentiality and data privacy to ensure the security of beneficiary information, disclosure about record management, and procedures or protocols for case disclosure, and confidentiality agreement executed by and among concerned individuals, professionals managing the cases of beneficiaries. So ito po ay nilalaman ng ating MOO, Executed Confidentiality Agreement. Okay pa po? Okay pa po ba tayo? Sige po. Sige. So, under naman po ng case recording and documentation. So, our case folder, current residents. So, each case folder has the following documents based on the prescribed contents per the approved accreditation tool. So, meron po itong admission slip, kasama ang date and time of admission, to include the intake sheet, the social case study report, birth certificate, beneficiary photo, the intervention plan and contract are updated semi-annually, PCAR, if applicable, updated health, medical, and dental records as necessary, school record, if schooling or has been to school, so progress report, and running records of the case that highlight the developments made by the beneficiary to the agency's services and program is updated every month or an activity basis. So monitoring and evaluation report, psychological and psychiatric reports, assessment, evaluation record or results as necessary, referral letters, case conference records, meetings, legal related or court case records, documentation if applicable, dossier or life book of the child, mandatory for center catering to children for alternative placement, certification declaring a child as a legally available for adoption or CDCLAA for children for adoption. So ang ating MOV po dito ay case folder, completely filled up and filed admission slip, completely filled and filed intake sheets with date stamp, filed social case study report, intervention plan and contract with conform from the beneficiary, PCAR, medical records, school records, chronologically filled progress reports, running records, home visit records, collateral interview reports, filled accomplished tools and monitoring and evaluation reports, psychological psychiatric report, result, referral letters, case conference report, activity log, minutes of the meeting, documentation, court decisions or subpoena, or barangay or police blotter, medical legal record, dossier, or life book of the child. So, case folder po, if discharged residents, those that were at least discharged from the agency within 2 years. So in addition to the above documents, the following documents must be filed properly. So signed discharge slip, closing summary or terminal report, transfer summary with information, aftercare plan, agreements, and termination plan. So ang ating MOV po dito ay filed closing summary or terminal report, transfer summary and signed discharge slip or termination plan, aftercare plans and agreements, referral letters, case conference reports, minutes of the meeting, and supervisory notes. So under naman po ng record management, there are written policies on case records access, use, and disposal. So use of coding systems, specifically control our serial numbers, thereby ensuring that the names of beneficiaries are kept confidential. Case folders records are marked confidential and are properly kept and maintained in a location that can be monitored easily, and designated cabinets marked for authorized personnel only. So ang ating means of verification po ay MOO, policy documents, case folders, observations, and or sample of case folders. So visitation of guests, volunteers, or interns, and so forth. So there is a client child protection policy or CPP that covers the safeguarding policies which prevent harm, abuse, and distress to clientele. So our means of verification po ay manual of operation, signed beneficiary protection commitment form. Also, there are documented orientations on the important protocols that need to be followed upon entry into the agency, and documented exit conference or debriefing sessions for all visitors, guests, volunteers, and interns to help process their thoughts and observation. So our MOV, or means of verification po, ay manual of operation, documented orientation, exit conferences, or debriefing sessions. So under the caseload and case management, meron pa tayong total of 28. Okay, so next po, second to the last is our adequate physical infrastructure and facilities. So appropriate and ample office facilities, amenities, and space for organizational function and activities. So for our public areas, with adequate space or lobby or reception area for beneficiaries and visitors alike. So our MOV po ay observation results or photo documentation. Office and facility. The office and facilities comply with the existing laws and have been declared safe by the proper authorities. So updated safety certificates such as annual building certificate, water potability, fire safety inspection certificate. Next is communal or activity area under accommodation facilities. With communal area or activity areas for a variety of social, cultural, religious, official, and personal activities. Again, our MOV is observation results or photo documentation. For interviewing or counseling area, has a separate room exclusively for counseling or interviewing. It is equipped with counseling paraphernalia such as psychological assessment tools, art materials, throw pillows, dolls, toys, sandbox, and other furniture and fixtures appropriate to the age and purpose of the counseling or therapy session. Okay. So our MOV po ay photo documentation and observation results. Next is illumination and ventilations. Agency, all areas in the facilities are sufficiently illuminated and have adequate ventilation. So our MOV ay observation results and photo documentation. So next is our bedroom facilities. So room dimensions and layout options have a minimum of 0.50 meters of free and unobstructed on either side of the bed, sufficient for movement and access for the caregiver and any equipment needed. So for person with disabilities residents should at least have a minimum of 0.90 meters of unobstructed space to cater to residents beneficiary using assistive devices such as wheelchair and crutches. So ang ating means of verification po ay observation result, actual measurement with photo documentation. So still po for beds for beneficiaries, strictly consistent with the declared maximum bed space capacity. So one beneficiary, one bed ratio with foam or mattress, one beneficiary, one cabinet storage ratio may be exempted when catering to senior citizen and person with intellectual disability who can no longer manage their things. So if double-decker beds are allowed, provided that beneficiaries below 13 years old or with disabilities are at the lower bank, and the minimum ceiling height for rooms using double-decker beds shall be at least 3 meters from the finished floor line to ceiling. So our MOV po ay observation results and photo documentation. So separate rooms po for female and male beneficiaries, and toddlers and infants are exceptions. So our means of verification po ay observation results and photo documentation. So next is there are available emergency exits, at least 2 on every floor. This depends on the capacity of the beneficiaries per floor area. So emergency exits are available and unobstructed at all times on all floor areas, are accessible with exit signs or arrows properly and visibly installed for directions. As per BFP RA 9514, revised IRR 2019, Section 10.2, 12.3, letter C, number 4. So observation results and photo documentation are our means of verification. Next is sanitary toilet and bath facilities. So at least 2 bathrooms with at least 2 bathrooms with toilet facilities for center with a maximum of 20 beneficiaries. So again po, ang ating means of verification po ay observation results or photo documentations. Next is separate toilet facilities for boys and girls or male and female beneficiaries. Observation results or photo documentation is our means of verification. So bathrooms with lavatory, with a soap and waste bin, with the proper ventilation or window or exhaust for air circulation, has at least 3.5 square meters space enough for toilet seat, urinal, and shower. For non-PWD or senior citizen, at least 1 bathroom is equipped with grab bars and handrails. shall permit effortless and obstruction-free movement for a wheelchair, enabling the occupant to enter a toilet, cubicle, or standalone toilet, close the door, and transfer to the water closet from either a frontal or lateral transfer. So for agencies catering to PWD or senior citizen beneficiaries, with bathroom following the ratio, equipped with grab bars and handrails, shall permit effortless and obstruction-free movement for a wheelchair, enabling the occupant to enter a toilet, cubicle, or stand alone. Toilet can close the door and transfer to the water closet from either a frontal or lateral transfer. So our means of verification po ay photo documentation and observation results. Next po is our kitchen and dining rooms. Dining areas have chairs and tables based on the age level of beneficiaries with adequate space for movements. So our MOV is observation results or documentation. The kitchen should be equipped with basic kitchen furnishing, tools, and utensils. Our MOV is observation results or documentation. One beneficiary for one set of dining ware. So 1:1 po ang ratio. Observation results and documentation po ang ating MOV. So sa laundry area has a designated laundry area. It could be either be an indoor or outdoor laundry area. So our MOV po ay observation results or documentation. Next po is the storage area with a properly labeled designated storage area or place or a separate storage room to properly store, segregate, and organize supplies with proper labels, food and non-food, and for authorized personnel only. Should be free from rodents and other stray insects or pests, spacious enough to store all the food and non-food items while also allowing the staff to move around. So our means of verification po ay observation results or documentation. So study area naman po or mini library, equip at least with the following: age-appropriate study chairs and tables, with available school supplies such as pen, pencil, crayons, scissors, erasers, and so forth, with book sets, drawing sets, and reading materials, and also with proper ventilation. So our means of verification po ay observation result or documentation. Under naman po ng isolation room for medical or health-related concerns, with the following fixture and furniture: bed, chair, side table, washable curtains, waste bin, own bathroom, available communication lines such as any of the following: phone or mobile phone or alarm signal in case of emergencies. So ang ating MOB ay observation result, documentation, and or checklist. So with proper air ventilation and windows, observation, ang ating MOV po ay observation result, documentation, or checklist. With room signage, isolation room properly posted or placed outside the door. So ang ating MOV po dito ay observation result, documentation, or checklist. So sa next po ay ang staff quarters, sleeping or resting rooms, with provision of separate sleeping quarters for male and female staff or other sleeping arrangement for personnel, staff living or staying in the agency as allowed or required by agency policies if applicable. So ang ating means of verification po ay manual of operation, observation, and or documentation. So next po ay ang reflection or expression room if applicable. So Applicability po ay facilities catering to high-risk beneficiaries such as CICL, abused children and women, and street children, or for beneficiaries manifesting violent behavior. So we designated room facility to place beneficiaries manifesting violent behavior that can be monitored or observed outside the given space. No prison-like bars or grills allowed. The room should have an acrylic glass window or one-way mirror or see-through mechanism. Installation of CCTV may also be considered with proper ventilation or exhaust for air circulation, with proper lighting, and has protected recessed ceiling light. So the room is equipped with safety features such as the following: absence of any sharp objects or furniture inside the room, no electrical outlets in the room that can be reached or accessible to the beneficiaries, padded walls or rubber mats. So ang ating means of verification po ay manual of operation, observation, or documentation. Next po ay ang ating infirmary or clinic with basic first aid kit and cabinet. So take note po that all medicines and medical supplies must be within before expiration dates. So ang ating MOV po dito ay observation result, documentation, checklist, medicine logbook, or inventory. So with basic medical equipment device, also our means of verification po ay observation result, documentation, or checklist. Next po ay ang ating conference or training room or space. So has a conference room or open space with fixtures within the facility conducive for conduct of meetings, seminars, trainings, and other similar activities for use by the staff and beneficiaries. So in the absence of conference room or space, the alternative multipurpose room or area that serve as the venue for the said activities must be conducive for learning. So ang ating MOV po dito ay observation and documentation report of activities conducted in the said area or space. Next po is the sanitation and waste management system. So agency implements proper waste disposal system, segregation of biodegradable and non-biodegradable materials, and practices that support the Clean Air Act. So ang ating means of verification po ay observation or photo documentation. So we have total of 27 for adequate physical infrastructure and facilities. So, ayan po. Meron na po ba tayong napapansin or naiisip na dapat po i-improve or palitan sa ating mga agencies for our adequate physical infrastructure and facilities? So, okay po. So, proceed po tayo sa ating compliance with repertorial requirements. So, ito naman po ang ating means of verification ay receiving copy, acknowledgement received from the DSWD field office or central office relative to the submission of the repertorial requirements. So, sa compliance with repertorial requirements, meron lang po tayong dalawa. So, under po ng compliance with repertorial requirements, first is the submission of financial report using the prescribed DSWD template or Annex E, not later than March 31 of the succeeding year through the DSWD helps. So, ating pong MOB po ay acknowledgement receipt from the DSWD or proof of submission. Next is the submission of annual accomplishment report using the prescribed template or Annex G, also not later than March 31 of the succeeding year through the DSWD helps. So, ang ating MOV po ulit ay acknowledgement receipt from DSWD or proof of submission. So, ayan po. Meron po tayong total na 2. So, yan. Next is our client beneficiary safety and protection. So, our assessor will put check mark on the appropriate box. Yes, if a statement applies, and no, if it does not. So, ito po ay client beneficiary safety and protection. So, physical and sexual abuse case reported in the agency. So, our MOV po dito ay incident report, logbook, copy of blatter report, plan of action with intervention. Next is the severe accidental injury to a resident occurred in the agency. So, our means of verification po ay incident report, logbook, copy of blotter report as applicable, plan of action with intervention. Next is caregiver action or inaction resulted in the death of a child due to abuse or neglect, previous or current. So, ang ating MOV po dito ay incident report, logbook, copy of blotter report, plan of action with intervention. Next is the presence of fire hazards. So, ang ating means of verification po ay observation or photo documentation. So, yan po ang nilalaman ng ating client, beneficiary safety and protection. So, yun po, ang total po ng atin ay 91 sa residential-based monitoring tool. So, ito naman po ay yung scoring interpretation. So, sustained compliance, if the agency met a total actual score of 91 based on the mandatory requirements or standard indicators in monitoring assessment. O yung present ko pong number 2 or yung monitoring assessment po. So, if unsustained compliance naman po, if the agency fails to meet the total actual score based on the mandatory requirements or set standards indicated in the monitoring assessment. Thus, technical assistance will be provided to ensure its compliance within the prescribed timeline. So, if the monitoring resulted in having check marks on the client beneficiary safety and protection indicators, and the agency failed to act or respond to address the concern, this will automatically result in unsustained compliance, despite meeting the actual score on the mandatory requirements or set standard indicators in our monitoring assessment. So take note po ha, once po na merong magkaroon ng check mark at ang agency ay failed to act or respond to address the concern, this will automatically result in unsustained compliance. So, next po is yung recommendation. So, kung sustained compliance po tayo sa accreditation or sa monitoring, in view, ito po yung nakalagay po dun sa certificate. So, in view of above findings, the agency has satisfactorily sustained the compliance with accreditation of the residential care facility. Ito po yung under po ito na sa monitoring tool pa din po ito. So, if unsustained naman po, dito po magno-note si assessor in view of above findings, name of the agency fails to comply with the following monitoring requirement. So, meron po tayong areas for compliance, activities, time frame, responsible person, and yung resources needed. So, ano po yung kailangan i-comply? At meron po tayong time frame na within the agreement po ng assessor po and the agency po. So, for our monitoring under residential based tool po, yan po ang nilalaman po ng ating monitoring tool. So, for our questions po, meron po nating ilagay po doon lahat ng ating queries for discussion po later on. So with that po, salamat po sa pakikinig and have a nice, great lunch po sa ating lahat.
Hi, thank you so much, Miss Julie, for a very comprehensive discussion this morning. We'll now pause po for our lunch break. Time check, it is 11:59. So we will be back po at exactly 1 p.m. So kagaya po ng na-share kanina, if you have a questions po regarding sa residential based monitoring tool na na-discuss this morning, please feel free po to access the Q&A link that we have shared in the chat box. Maaari na po kayong mag-access doon. Meron pong tab. Sa first tab po tayo for the residential based monitoring tool. So doon po natin ilagay ang ating mga questions for the residential tool. So we will be back po by 1 p.m. So hope to see you po in the afternoon session. Have a great lunch, everyone. Thank you.